our children home. Light is returning. Light is returning. Light is returning. Even though this is the darkest hour, no one can hold back. Hold back the dawn. Let's keep it burning. Let's keep the light of hope alive. Make safe our journey through the storm. One planet is turning. Circles on her path around the sun. Earth Mother is calling, calling her children home. One planet is turning. Circles on her path around the sun. Calling all of the children to come on home. Light is returning. Even though this is the darkest hour, no one can hold back. Hold back the dawn. Keep the fires burning. Keep the light of love and hope alive. Make safe our journey through the storm. One planet is turning. Circles on her path around the sun. Earth Mother is calling, calling her children home. One planet is turning. Circles on her path around the sun. Calling all of the children to come on home. Light is returning. Even though this is the darkest hour, no one can hold back the dawn.
Hey, good morning, everybody. We're having so much fun already, and you know it's only going to get better from here. We're so excited to be at Columbine Spiritual Center this morning with Steve Larson and Co., which today includes his amazing son, Seth Larson. Take it away. It's that kind of Sunday.
I walked down around the corner with my friends to my favorite bar. When I ran into a preacher and he asked me, do you know who you are? I told him my name. He smiled with a look in his eyes and said, I'm gonna ask another question, but the answer may be a surprise. How many verses in the universe? How many verses in the universe? How many verses in the universe? Whoa, 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 no. How many verses in the universe? Well, do you get me? The preacher man said, and I did. I smiled and nodded my head. The life you are living, the name you are given, is consciousness of universe manifested in you and me and everything under the stars. We are a part of it all, and all is a part of us. How many verses in the universe? Yeah, 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 yeah. How many verses in the universe? How many verses in the universe? How many verses? Yeah. How many verses in the universe? One people, one love, one world, one sky up above. One people, one song, one voice when we all sing along. Hey, come on! In the universe, yeah, oh, how many verses in the universe? How many verses? Oh, how many verses in the universe? How many verses? How many verses in the universe?
Steve and Seth Larson, everybody. And with that, we say good morning and welcome to Columbine Spiritual Center. We're centered in God. We celebrate a world of harmony, peace, and abundance for all. Get up off your seat and let's sing some joy songs. 2, 3, and... Love is but the song we sing, fear's the way we die. You can make the mountains ring or make the angels cry. Though the bird is on the wing and you may not know why. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Some may come and some may go, we will surely pass. When the one that left us here returns for us at last, we are but a moment's sunlight fading in the grass. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Wait for it. If you hear the song I sing, you will understand. Listen. You hold the key to love and fear, all in your trembling hand. Just one key unlocks them both. It's there at your command. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. One more time. Come on, people now, smile on your brother. Everybody get together, try to love one another right now. Right now. Right now. Woo! And the crowd says, yes. Yeah, that's not all. Are we okay? Yeah, thank you. Thanks, sound guy. Yeah, we're ready. 2, 1, 2, 3, and kind of ready. If the children cry in one love, one heart, let's get together and feel alright. Whoa, whoa, whoa. One love, one heart. Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Singing, let's get together and feel alright. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's get together and pray for peace.
One love.
Loving our brother will bring unity. One heart. Let's thank our sisters for the love she gives us. One love. Let's work together and feel alright. Believe me. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel as it was in the beginning,
One love.
so it shall be in the end.
One heart.
Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Singing, let's get together and feel alright. Now, now, one love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright.
Oh, I feel alright.
One love,
Oh, one love.
praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Let's get together and feel alright. One time say, let's get together and feel alright. Yes. You sound marvelous. So good. Please be seated. Let's calm our breathing down. Prepare ourselves for prayer and meditation. You are the heart. You are the hands. You are the voice of spirit on earth. And all you are, and all you do is a blessing to the world. We are the heart. We are the heart. We are the hand. We are the voice of spirit on earth. And all we are, and all we do is a blessing to the world.
Let's prepare our hearts and our minds and our souls for Daddy. My heart belongs to Daddy. I don't know about you. It's wonderful, isn't it, to laugh as we are about to pray. But just for a moment, we remember that laughter is a form of breathing. And as we prepare ourselves for prayer, we focus on our breath. We focus on our exhalation, allowing ourselves to release that breath that served us but has lived its purpose. And we allow ourselves to inhale fully. And for just a moment, we become aware that that ever-present rhythm of breath is something that all life shares. We share that breath with everyone in this room. We share that breath of spirit with everyone in our prayer box, named in our prayer box, with everyone listed on our prayer list. We share the breath of life, the breath of spirit. And for this we give thanks. And in this awareness, we know that as children of the one Spirit, we are empowered to extend that one breath, that one spirit, that one verse of life to every living being that we come in contact with. We extend it to all the people of Russia, the people of Ukraine, the people suffering from conflict anywhere on this God's earth. We share that breath of life with every living creature, from the littlest bug to the biggest elephant, to the fish and the whales, and the birds. We are one spirit. We are one life. And for this we are grateful, and for this we give thanks that we are empowered by that Spirit to be Spirit for one another in love and in peace And for this, we give thanks, and so it is.
I am the heart. I am the hands. I am the voice of spirit on earth. And all I am, and all I do is a blessing to the world. We're a blessing to the world. You're a blessing to the world.
Let me carry your burden If something's not right, I will let you know. Like the paint that's drying on a heart that's cold. Let me carry your burden. Get you back on a high when you're feeling low. When the weight's too heavy but you won't let go. Come to me, my brother, and I will sit with you a while. Pretty soon I'll see you smile, and you know you will. Well, no matter how much you're hurting right now, you know everything will change in time. You carry your burden. Carry your burden. When your mouth's on fire but your mind is cold, and you're fanning flames that won't keep you warm. Come to me, my brother, I will sit with you a while. Pretty soon I'll see you smile, and you know you will. Well, no matter how much you're hurting right now, you know everything will change in time. Let me carry your burden, oh brother mine. Tomorrow you'll be right as rain. It'll quench your thirst, wash away your pain. Come to me, my brother, and I will sit with you a while. Pretty soon I'll see you smile, and you know you will. Well, no matter how much you're hurting right now, you know everything will change in time. I just might see you in another light. I got no dog here in the fight. Let me carry your burden, oh brother mine.
Steve Larson, Seth Larson, Stephen Bott, Dan Steelman. And of course, Hazel.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody. That was beautiful. I came across a story this week, yesterday, last night. Really, to tell the truth. An 8-year-old boy once told his mom that he'd like to have 3 wishes. He wanted a new bike, he wanted to make sure his family always stayed together, and he wanted to be invisible. And his mom said, well, that's interesting. Why would you want to be invisible? And he replied, so I could whisper in your ear you are not alone. I know, isn't that touching? And I share that because a third of the population feels lonely most of the time. We have I just learned this last night too, a swipe right and swipe left culture. Anybody hear that? If you're in the dating world, you might have heard of that. Kevin, my husband, should be glad I didn't hear of it till last night. Because it's on Timber. And swipe right means, oh, I like what I see, I'm gonna like you. And swipe left means, I don't like what I see, you're deleted. And we're so quick to judge nowadays. We're so quick to decide, I like that, I don't like that. And it's all surfacey. It's not really getting to know the person, especially on the dating apps. Swipe right, swipe left. We've forgotten that relationships take work and effort. They don't just happen. In our culture where everything is, right now, quick, relationships don't work that way. And we can go deeper. There's more to the person than what's on the surface, than what we see on the outside. There's a whole lot more. And we can give someone space to be who they came here to be, or not. It's up to us. Whether we want to just judge them based on what we see or what we hear and not the reasons why, or we can get deeper. We long to belong, and we're not going to belong with just the surfacey stuff. We're not going to feel that sense of belonging. We're the loneliest we've been as a society, and we have more ways to connect than we ever have. But because we're a swipe left and swipe right culture, we can, with a click, dismiss people, dismiss relationships. It's so easy to click on and click off. Why do we do that? Elizabeth Lesser, in her book Morrow, says this: we relate to each other on the surface because we're afraid if we reveal too much, if we show all our cards, we won't be loved, we won't be accepted, we won't belong. We'll be taken advantage of, we'll be judged and excluded. But that is a supreme misunderstanding. If we only show to each other our surface scars, our defenses, our reactivity, our false intimacies, then that's what we get back. We need to be willing to be vulnerable with each other, if that's what we want back. If we want true connection, we have to be willing to do that. Recent research shows that loneliness was associated with an early risk of death. That loneliness is equivalent to smoking 15 cigarettes a day or obesity. In contrast, people who have a greater social life tend to have a 50% reduced risk of early death. There's reasons for us to be more social, to connect with each other. And that can be a scary thing for those of us that are a little more shy or introverted, to reach out, to connect. We unify in perfect order. When people share an experience, they tend to synchronize their heartbeat. Their heartbeats tend to synchronize, like a single rhythm. Like people listening to music together, or watching a movie together, or being in a sanctuary like this together, or children laughing together, playing together. They synchronize themselves with each other. And good things happen when we do that, when we work together, when we see ourselves as a united front. We belong. We long to belong, and it's safer to travel in groups. Let's show the video.
smarter to travel in groups. Take the bus. It's smarter to travel in groups. Take the bus.
You get the message. Take the bus, take the bus. So I love that because each one of them shows something that we can do together. The penguins, when we lean into our challenges together, others lean with us, not by judging or by fixing or offering advice, but by working together. It's safer to be in a group. The fireflies, we all have this light within us. But when we bring our lights together, that spark, that divine spark that's within each of us, that unity, second principle, it's safer. We light the way for everyone. We come into our own awareness of our divine nature in groups. And then the ants, when we support each other, we're stronger together than we are alone. When two or more are gathered, there I am, right? That's what the words in the Bible say. And metaphysically, that means where two or more Christ-centered thoughts are, there is Christ consciousness. There it is. Bringing it together. There's strength and connection. And then with the crabs, when we shelter each other, we take care of each other, not enabling each other, but rather working together, doing our part. It's smarter to travel in groups. And so we're going to start our small group program September 18th. And our sign-up sheets will be available in about a week. And we'd love to have you sign up for one of our small groups. This is for those of you that are new. For some of you, you've been around a long time, you know the drill. But some of you who are new, we will study the same book together as a community for 7 weeks. This is the book we're going to use this time. It's in the bookstore. It's called Grace Trail by Ann Barry Jolas. We study the same book together. You all register for a group, and then you meet with that group of people once during the week and discuss what you read, what the assigned reading was for the week. And there's discussion questions, and it's all ready for you. So this is our small group program we do every fall. I hope that you will sign up for it when those sign-up sheets become available. We are looking for a few more facilitators. If you feel like you are someone that can hold sacred space for people and be in that place of facilitating, let Ann know, let me know. We're going to have both in-person meetings and Zoom meetings, so groups, so you can take your pick. We have found that people are not signing up as much. We've heard that some people don't we used to put all the sign-up sheets out on a table, and some people don't like that we don't have that anymore, so they can't see who's in the group. Well, what happens when you take the bus? You don't know who's going to be on the bus. You just take the bus. It doesn't mean you have to sit right next to them. You take your chances. It's random, but it's not really, is it? Because we sign up for a group, that's our group. That's our people. I love how Parker Palmer talks about in A Hidden Wholeness how we want to show up for groups. He calls in his book, he calls them circles of trust. But we call them small groups, so I changed a couple words in here in this quote. But he says, a small group has no agenda except to help people listen to their own souls and discern their own truth. The group is focused on inward and invisible powers. Its singular purpose is to support the inner journey of each person in the group, to make each soul feel safe enough to show up and speak its truth, to help each person listen to his or her inner teacher. We each have that inner teacher within us. We're not there in these groups to give advice, to have the answers. As a facilitator, you don't have to have any answers. In fact, it's good if you don't, only for yourself, not for someone else, because God's not whispering in your ear what that person should be doing. So this is how we want to show up for each other. We want to witness for each other in our small groups. And it takes practice. It's not easy because often we want to have a dialogue. We want to have a conversation. But what happens when we just allow people to share their own story, they feel heard, they gain confidence, and they're able to then take that divine self, that beautiful self, out into the world. They don't need any advice from anyone. They don't need any judgment from anyone. They don't need anyone to challenge their perspective. It's theirs. And that's how we show up in groups for people in this program, in this community. If you want to show up for this community in some small group, we'd love to have you do that. Thomas Merton was a Trappist monk and also a civil rights activist. You see, those two things don't seem to go along together, but he really believed in taking the inner journey, in learning from that inner teacher that we all have within us. And then once you learn from that inner teacher, when you hear that guidance and you know what is yours to do and you know who you are, you know your own divine nature, then you take it out to the world. Then you do great work because you're doing it in confidence, you're doing it with strength, you're doing it with your inner power. That's what we're inviting you to do, to create space without judgment. It's so easy to judge, but we can more fully engage with life when we have somebody who can truly hear us and see us. In my own life, I have a spiritual director, which I've mentioned before, and I've been meeting with her for a few years now, and it is the one time, once a month, I meet with her that I feel truly, truly heard. No judgment, no, you should do this, none of that. She allows me to come up with my own answers as I share my story, as I share what's going on in my life. That inner story, that inner teacher is coming out. We can do this one-on-one, we can do it in groups. When I signed up for the Spiritual Directions program, I didn't know who was going to be in it. It's like taking the bus. You don't know who's going to be in it. It turned out I had met one person one time. And I thought it would be all ministers, Unity putting this on. I thought it'd be all there's only 4 and only 2 of us are still working out of 15. There's 15 in our group. And they have all diverse backgrounds, different ages, different sexual orientations. And it's a beautiful group because we allow each other to just be. We give each other space. And we encourage each other by giving that space. We don't dismiss each other because we don't agree. And it can be so easy to do that as well. I've just started reading a book that Bonnie recommended called All for Love by Matt Kahn. And it's thought-provoking. It's about creating space for people. It's about encouraging people, not by encouraging by being a cheerleader, but encouraging by allowing them to tell their story. You know, when people tell their stories, whether you agree with their perspective or not, you can't help but love them. Because everybody here is walking their own journey and has their own challenges. And we just need to give them space to do that. We teach in Unity that we're all one. It doesn't mean we're all the same. We're all different. But we all are struggling in life at times and feeling joyful in life at times. And we need to allow people to have that experience without us pushing our own agenda on it. So with this book, I'm looking at my own life and thinking, where do I encourage people? Where do I allow them to be themselves? Where do I dismiss them immediately because I don't like their perspective? It can be humbling. But I love what Matt Kahn says about this. He talks about the attribute of encouragement. He says, in the attribute of encouragement, you aren't trying to change how anyone thinks. Neither are you working to sway them toward your perspective. Nor do you believe that by hearing their testimony of life, you are less rooted in your own truth. It doesn't take anything away from us by giving people space to be them. It takes practice to do this. It doesn't come easy. We're in this swipe right, swipe left culture. We want to dismiss or agree, dismiss or like them immediately. It takes time. And our groups give you that time, the 7-week program. Reverend Tom Thorpe was one of my teachers when I was going through the ministerial program, and he talked about how the best thing you can do for people is encourage them. That is the number one gift you can give them, that encouragement, that space to be themselves. Just encourage them. There was a study in University of Wisconsin years ago. It was a group of men who were really talented in their literary talented. I'm not saying that right. They were really good at writing. And so they formed this group where they would read their writings, and they would critique each other, and they called themselves the Stranglers. Because they would really get into it and nitpick and just tear the thing apart. Well, the women decided they needed their own group. They were going to have a group as well, and they were all good writers, and they would share each other's writing. They would share their writing with the group, and the group would encourage them and give them space and let them know that they appreciated their perspective. 20 years later, they looked back at this group. That group was called the Wranglers. So we have the Stranglers and the Wranglers. 20 years later, the university looked back at these groups. The Wranglers, the women, the one who encouraged each other instead of critiqued and judged each other's writings, had many accolades, many literary achievements and awards and best-selling works, and the Stranglers had zero. Zero out of that group of men who were considered very good writers. We need to encourage each other. We need to encourage ourselves. Do you give yourself space to be who you came here to be? Or do you criticize and judge yourself, critique yourself? I know I'm guilty of that and can be my own worst critic. But we need to give ourselves space, give ourselves that encouragement so that we can go out into the world and then be the bright light that we came here to be. Then we can lean in together with each other. Then we can all work together as one. Then we can shelter each other. That's what we're invited to do in this life, in this community. That's what we invite you to do. Mother Teresa says, if we have no peace, it is because we have forgotten that we belong to each other. We belong to each other. There's no swiping right, swiping left. The phantom spirit that's in this light up here that seems to be random. We're getting it fixed. But have you been feeling alone? Have you been feeling lonely or disconnected? These last couple of years have been really, really adding to that aloneness that so many of us have felt, the isolation. We offer many opportunities here to connect, but you have to use that unity fifth principle and do it. You have to take action on it. You have to put yourself out there. I know it can be hard. It can be really hard. But the reward of it is great. The joy of it is great. The feeling connected, the love for yourself is worth it if you can do it. It's safer to travel in groups. So consider signing up for one of our small groups or sign up for some of the other things we have going on, because we have lots of ongoing groups here at Columbine. We have a living room conversation coming up. I miss where there's Stephanie, coming up in a couple weeks. Lots of opportunities to connect, to be your true self, to know that you belong. You belong to yourself, you belong to Spirit, you belong with us. Namaste.
This song is about someone who's recognized a need for some encouragement from their friends. And the arrangement was given to us by Colorado legend Erica Brown. I was a young boy, much younger than today. I never needed anybody's help in any way. But now those days are gone, I'm not so self-assured. Now I find I've changed my mind and opened up the doors. Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do appreciate you being around. Help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you please, please help me? Now my life has changed in oh so many ways. My independence seems to vanish in the haze. But every now and then, oh, I feel so insecure. I know that I just need to like I've never done before. Appreciate you being around. Help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you please, please help? I never needed anybody's help in any way. But now those days are gone, and I'm not so self-assured. Now I find I've changed my mind and opened up the doors. Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do appreciate you being around. Whoa, help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you please, please help me? Won't you please, please help me? Oh, won't you please, please? I want somebody to please help me.
Seth Larson right there. Part of Steve Larson and Co. Don't go too far.
Good morning, everybody. I hope you all know that this is a place where you can ask for that kind of help. Thank you so much for that beautiful rendition. So this morning, we would like to, first of all, say hello to our online viewers. So if you would turn around and give a wave. Hello, everybody out there in virtual land. Thank you. This is our purpose statement. If you would please say it along with me. We commit to increasing our spiritual awareness, diversifying our community, manifesting our highest potential, and positively impacting the world. And if this message calls to you in any way, one of the ways that you can help us positively impact the world is to support us financially. There are many ways to do that, and one of them is in the sanctuary this morning. So let's start with our offertory blessing. God's love has always met and will always meet all my needs. I give freely, I receive abundantly, and I am grateful. And on our website, you can find information about all of the things that Sue referenced that we have going on here. When you first look at the website, there's a big, beautiful picture at the top, but be sure to scroll down and find everything that you need there. And you can sign up, find places there to sign up for activities. Today, we are celebrating back to school with an ice cream party. Ow! In Foss Hall. And even if you're not going back to school, you are allowed some ice cream. So come and join us right after service for that. Now, I'm curious how many in the room today know Alan Kelly. And if you knew him, you probably know certain things about him. You know that he loved to have fun. He loved to cook. He loved to have a party. And so to celebrate that, Joanne, as she's written her book about walking Alan home at the end of his life, we are hosting a book signing party. And Joanne has promised us it will have fun and laughter and food, and you will be able to see her book and get a signed copy of it. And to help us celebrate it, Reverend Scott Shell is going to come and join us for that. So please, feel free to join us on Wednesday evening at 6:30 in Foss Hall for that. And she is saying that even if you didn't know, or maybe especially if you didn't know Alan, please come and join us. This promises to be a really interesting conversation and evening. And now I would love to invite up Stephanie and Annie to talk about our living room conversations.
Okay. Hi, everyone. First of all, what an amazing service, right? Like, really powerful music. Lydia, your prayer. I mean, it's so special to think that we all breathe the same breath of life. And Sue, it's much better to be part of a group and a community, and we can all be fireflies and light the way. So I'm Stephanie, and for those of you who know my story, I feel like I was divinely guided to Columbine 3 years ago. And you all embraced me, and I have truly transformed my life. So since then, I have felt really compelled to be a part of helping others in our community and across the whole spectrum of our community experience what I've experienced here. So how many of you came to the This Is Not Who We Are movie a couple months ago? Okay, I was there, and it really impacted me. I've had a calling for the past year or so to really find a way to bring people together and better understand each other and raise a higher consciousness about people's experience across all walks of life. And when we were at that movie, I met this lovely human, Annie, and she's with Living Room Conversations, and I got with her, and I got so inspired by what Living Room Conversations does that I got certified as a conversation host, and I also worked with Sue to see how we could bring this amazing tool to Columbine. So I'm going to let Annie introduce herself and tell you a little bit about what it is.
Thank you, Stephanie. Hi, everyone. Thank you for such a beautiful service. My name is Annie Kaplan, and I'm the Community Engagement Partner for Living Room Conversations, and we're a nonprofit that works to connect people across divides through guided conversations. And we also use these conversations to create spaces for people to come together and talk about and explore their understanding around topics that can sometimes be difficult or challenging to typically talk about. So I will be back here August 31st for a conversation on being white in the anti-racism movement. And this is a topic that is very, very close to my heart. I personally grew up in a very white area, and now I live here. So back in that similar situation, but being a white person growing up in that environment, I was completely unaware of so many things that my sisters and brothers of color experience on a daily basis, and I'm still very unaware. But even just coming here today, for example, I didn't have to worry that I might be the only person that's white in the room. And if I did have to worry about that, what might that feel like? So, this is just one of countless examples of the ways that my whiteness affects my everyday life. And that's really difficult to look at, and, it's hard to see that sometimes. But one of the things that motivates me to lean into that discomfort and learn from it is, the belief that I want to pursue a life of truth and love. And I'm sure I share that sentiment with most, if not all of you. So, this is, of course, lifelong work, but one of the ways that we can turn this love that we have into action is through conversation and through talking about the ways in which our whiteness affects our lives and our culture and our place in the anti-racism movement. I think we can all agree that God is love, truth, spirit, creator is love. So this is, one of the ways that we can bring that to life. And I just want to close with a little story from Lilla Watson, who is an Aboriginal or original elder and activist. And she said to the white folks that were coming to quote unquote help her, and they had, of course, internalized colonial perceptions and attitudes, but she said to them something along the lines of, if you came here to help me, you're wasting your time. But if you came here because your liberation is bound to mine, then let us work together. So if you feel called or pulled to talk about and explore your place in this movement towards our collective liberation, then I would love to see you August 31st for a conversation that will allow us to go deeper into all of this. So thank you.
And now, this is a team effort today. And now, Miss Janice Kelly.
Thank you. We're down to the last 2 weeks of buying tickets and preparing for our Community Music and Arts Fest. It happens 2 weeks from yesterday. Hopefully we'll have better weather than we did yesterday. And you know, one of the things that strikes me about Columbine, and always has, is that we, without calling ourselves evangelical, create such a warm and welcoming environment for everybody that steps on this campus, from the look and feel of the incredible grounds that Linda and company so lovingly create, to what they experience when they're in the building. The last time I experienced this was at the women's retreat, and if I'd just been somebody walking in off the street, I would have been so moved by the welcoming nature and the love that was present. So my hope is that we as a community show up for this festival, and we welcome our brothers and sisters from the Kick to Build community, the soccer community, the Family Village Cooperative community, and we show them what Columbine Spiritual Center is really about, that we are a warm and welcoming and inclusive community, and we know how to party. So we're going to get down on Saturday, the 3rd of September. Selassie and the Fafa family will be our headliners. We'll have West African drumming, a great breakdance crew from Denver. I'll be singing with my sisters, Marcy and Mikesha. We'll have Antonio Lopez and Eden Rosenberg, and it's just going to be an amazing day filled with all sorts of activities and vendors and food and fun and dancing and singing. So get your tickets from Annie. Ann, she's out in the lobby after the service, and we hope to see you there. Thank you.
I think I'll actually be standing next to the ice cream table in Foss Hall because I'm supposedly overseeing that. But find me, I'll have the iPad, I can sign you up. Okay, weekly meditations are about to begin. When we did our strategic planning, we received a lot of feedback that people were really wanting meditation service. So that will start again on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. September 7th will be the first one, and this will be hybrid. So you can either come in via Zoom or you can join us here in the conference room. And it will be about an hour, and there will be an opening and a closing prayer, and in between, various meditation practices will be explored. And this will be on a love offering basis, but please feel free to join no matter what. And come with us and show the love that you are. A few save the dates. As Sue was referencing, we've got a lot going on here. Sacred Service Fair, Fall Book Program, Annual Fundraiser, Men's Retreat. So those dates are all on the big screen in the lobby. So check there if you need those dates. And when we go to Foss Hall, if you choose a white cup, that's a signal to us that you are looking for conversation and connection. So look carefully. You can choose a blue cup or a white cup, and we'll help you out if you want connection and conversation. Who's our prayer chaplain today? Hi, Vicki. Vicki is in the back there. Thank you, Vicki. And now, our peace song.
Let's all stand together. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be, with God as creator, family all are We love you. One people, one love, one world,
One sky up above,
one
people,
one song, one voice when we all sing along.
how many voices in the universe? How many voices in the universe? How many voices?
How many voices in the universe?
How many voices in the universe?
Woo! Have a great week.